Hey guys, welcome to Siffany's Walk with Grace.
Hi, I'm Siffany's Walk with Grace, where we talk about healing of all kinds, in particular healing in relationships. The bulk of what we do is kind of our relationship that we talk about all the time, that parent-child, but you also have a relationship with yourself, your spouse, all your belongings, your work, so it goes, you can expand it or decrease it however you want. But today I'm thrilled, I think Siffany is too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because we have two special guests. They're not on camera because they were a little nervous to do that, and I don't blame them. But Siffany's sisters, my other two daughters. So, you two want to just chime in and say hello?
Hi.
That's one of them.
You can have my hand. Hi.
That's my middle one. And
Stop, y'all.
okay, and that's my youngest. She's the real quiet one, so whenever she talks, I try really hard to listen. But so, relationships. Today, I think we're going to focus on parent-child because I have all my girls with me. And, you've heard some of Siffany and I's story and how rough it was for her and I to kind of understand each other and get to know each other and be okay with each other and, eventually be able to learn to
Let go and forgive, which I think was one of the biggest reasons why we're able to be here today and understand.
Yep. I think that's huge. Forgiveness is huge.
Mm-hmm.
Understanding. And we can get to forgiveness by understanding. So yeah, it's been a long haul, but I'm very happy for where we're at. So I'm going to do my best to be an open book, which is hard because, in real life when we're out and about or whatever within our relationships, we try to hide those parts of ourselves that we're not particularly proud of.
Or the parts that we're scared other people won't understand.
Which
was more my case.
Yeah.
Considering,
Yeah. And I think in my case, I was kind of the golden child for years, and, especially in my mom's eyes, was doing all the right things and being all the right things. And when I made a major mistake in their eyes, and what is a mistake? I mean, life happens for a reason. We do what is what it is kind of my bottom line answer.
when someone asks me what a mistake is, I say human error.
Yeah.
Because my favorite phrase, we're only human.
Mm-hmm. But we're all about the yin and yang. I was talking to my best friend on the phone this morning. That's kind of my Monday routine, and we were discussing how some of the best things that have ever happened to me happened out of something, horrible. Horrible mistakes, or what felt like horrible mistakes. And that's where a lot of forgiveness and understanding come in, because we can't go backwards. We can only go forward, but what am I going to do with that? What am I going to do with it now? But often I think if you look, that whole idea behind the silver lining, we wind up better given the circumstances that we've had. And that's life. So I kind of talked to the girls and asked them ahead of time to be thinking of, like, what's one of the hardest things you had to deal with me as your mom, and then maybe what's one of the better things. So, my hope is that I did some things right. Obviously.
No, I'm horrible.
There were a lot of things we good and bad. They're both there. So let's maybe kind of share a little bit of both sides. So I don't know if anyone.
Do either of you want to go first?
Can I start?
Yes, of course.
Okay. So this is my middle girl.
The one with the hand.
The one with the hand. Yeah.
We're just gonna call you a thing since you're.
Please don't call me Handy.
No. Adam's
Miss
Family
Thing.
reference. That's a great nickname. I would be proud of that one. So we're gonna hand it over to Thing. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
We're gonna hand it to my sister.
So.
She can never be a thing to me.
So I think, because there's a couple of things that were pretty hard, mom-wise. And I think maybe the biggest one was how often she was gone between working and being at college. And then when she wasn't working or being, or, at college, or schooling, whatever she was doing, she, was trying to find dates. She was trying to find her partner to kind of help her raise the three of us handfuls.
I would go so far as to say that I was a little more than a handful.
But so it was, for a hot minute there, it was kind of one boyfriend after another. It wasn't very many though. She, I think she did pretty good with kind of respecting herself in that department, but it was just in her free time when she wasn't doing that, she was either trying to find someone to help her, or we were cleaning, or when my younger years, I just don't really remember a whole lot of me and mom time. And that is kind of something that I used to resent that for a long time, but then as an adult, I've learned to understand that she's a single mom and she's got 3 semi-crazy kids.
2 semi-crazy, 1 fully crazy.
Okay,
Pause for a second.
I'm not that crazy. I'm not that crazy. Don't
Maybe
call me
not
into
crazy, handfuls like I said.
that. I'm not crazy.
She's
Those
not.
two are. Not
Yeah.
me.
My youngest is very quiet. She was there were different things going on with her, but big confession here. I don't know how well the girls understood this. I was crazy.
You're going through a lot.
Dun
Yeah,
dun
but-
dun.
But something that you girls may not be very aware of. I was pretty damaged. I think there's some Asperger's that I was dealing with that I didn't even understand until,
Let alone know she had.
let alone I understood that I had it until my first one was diagnosed. Then my second one was diagnosed. Then my grandson was diagnosed. And it was when my grandson was diagnosed, I'm like, oh, wait a minute. Because they have separate dads, my girls.
We all got it from you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So to clarify, Siffany was with my first husband. My younger two was my second husband. And so I kind of understood maybe where they were getting it, because I think there's some on his side of the family, or at least that's how I saw things, because, we don't ever want to think it's us, right? That's why awareness, that's why the how, honest, open, willing, so when my grandson was diagnosed and obviously was not my 2 younger dad, then that's when I had to start looking inward, and I'm like, well, maybe that's part of my crazy, my weirdness, or whatever, uniqueness, however
I was
you
gonna
want to
say
look
the
at
part of what makes you special.
That's what makes me special. So it's what makes them special. It was so easy to love them as they were.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing something was happening, and I was, gaining some understanding of Asperger's, autism, the spectrum, and kind of what it looks like. Lots of sensory issues, and I was able to see that in myself. Like, oh yeah, I really have a lot of,
Whereas I'm the one that's like, let's go to a concert.
Yeah, so here
Regularly,
I am,
mind
like,
you.
all this stuff is just driving me crazy, and it's driving them crazy, and so I knew I was trying to settle us down, and here's Siffany
Causing chaos.
causing chaos.
I am the bringer of chaos.
But so there was that, but deeper and even further down than that, and going back even further, and I was able to kind of look at some of my other family members, and I was like, oh, maybe that's why so and so was the way he was. So I do believe it has been passed down, but with me in particular, probably somewhere around the age of 14, 15, I really started becoming depressed and hating life, and tried to commit suicide when I was 16. Almost succeeded. I may have shared that, and definitely had a outer body death experience. That again, really, I don't want to say tainted my life, but it put me in a direction to wonder what that is, and wonder about the afterlife and that kind of thing. And then when I was 18, 19, I joined the Navy, thinking I needed to, I was kind of told I needed to get out of the house and get on my own, and all I really wanted was a family. All I really wanted was children. I mean, for me, my ideal would be, back then, and now, to be a homemaker. That's where I thrive. But that's not necessarily, the cool thing in society, and, especially nowadays. I think it's always kind of been hard to live on one income, but it just wasn't a thing. So I joined the military, had a second suicide attempt, and that's when they put me through a battery of tests, and I filed it away for a very long time. I didn't look at it again until I had been counseling, maybe on like year three. I was probably in counseling around 3 years. I was histrionic. Then I went back and I looked at my psych report, and I got a other than honorable discharge, and that was why they deemed me histrionic, and which is it's a personality disorder. Personality disorders are very hard to get through, heal, or whatever. So histrionic, major depression, suicidal tendencies, all that. So that's what I brought to the table when I had you girls. But back then, I think I thought, a child would heal me. Children, I was all about children. I always feel that children are just, they're born so pure and so innocent, and so like this tabula rasa, they're just perfect. And then I found out each of you came with your own kind of set of circumstances. So we were one big, messy family. I went into counseling to heal myself first, because I knew I was damaging. I knew I was damaging Siffany, who was my only one at the time. And this one was only 6 weeks old when I started. Woo! Yep. So, but yeah, I went into it thinking, you know what, I got to do this for them, because I don't want to pass on. I get that a lot of this was genetic kind of thing, but I also understood that there was a lot I could do about it. But so I did that deep dive that I always talk about. So we come from a very, you guys came by it all naturally, and I, really apologize for that.
It's okay. I'm only naturally crazy.
But I love that we're here now, and I love that we're doing what we're doing, and so it was very important to me to, heal along with you, and you guys heal along with me, and, help me understand you, and so, thank you for that, Bree.
Despite everything though,
Yeah.
still a really good mom. Because nowadays you see moms out there holding signs with their children, asking for money, asking for, because they're struggling. And I know we definitely struggled. Me and my sisters, we didn't have it all. We didn't have all the cool, fun, fancy things that the other kids did. Mom, she made sure we never went homeless. We never had to be one of those families in a extremely run down, crazy gang neighborhood because that was all she could afford. Somehow she made it work, and somehow she kept us safe and fed, bathed, clothed. We definitely had some high waters, but we were clothed and they were kept clean, and we weren't going to school, stinky because our utilities were shut off and we weren't showering. So she really made sure we were taken care of, and I think maybe, I'm not sure if it ever broke her bank or made it tougher on her, but I remember for our birthdays, man, she went all out.
Mm-hmm.
Our birthdays, our Christmases, they were, God, I can't tell you which birthday was my favorite because they've all been my favorite. Every year. I don't know how she did it, but every single Christmas and every single birthday, she found some kind of way to just make it as amazing as she could. And I don't even think sometimes she had to try too hard because we were thankful for whatever she gave us.
And I'd like to add to that too, on top of all that, and mind you, she's doing all that for 3 children, okay?
That's true.
On top of all that, we didn't necessarily get like vacations per se, but every Easter we'd wake up to an Easter basket. You guys remember this, right? An Easter basket on the table with the brand new bathing suit.
Oh, yeah.
And usually if we got that bathing suit, it meant we were going to Waterworld that summer.
I never caught on to that.
No?
No!
Dude, yeah, when we got a bathing suit, we were going to Waterworld.
How cute. This has been fun.
Man, I definitely caught on after the first few. And so, yep. And then, I mean, we're all summer birthday babies too. So on top of it, we did like water balloon fights. We had slip and slides for our parties and stuff like that. So we would always get new bathing suits for Easter to go with whatever summer adventure that involved water.
Ah, cool.
And I don't know how you did it either, because I've bought Waterworld tickets.
Yeah.
Guys, I spent like $1,000 to get freaking 6 people there, okay? That included 2 tube ballets, but I didn't even have to get a hotel or drive far.
Yeah. Well, we went cheap. I mean, we brought our food.
No, I mean,
we didn't, because I bought the 4-packs. I always bought the 4-packs.
Yeah, she'd buy the 4-pack. But you also got discounts for a while through one of the companies, which I've never had. No. And the tube ballet's pricey.
Yeah, that I never did. We had to.
But that's getting sidetracked. But at any rate, I know what those tickets cost, and she pulled it off every year on top of new bathing suits, which is pretty amazing. And summer birthdays.
Yeah, they were all right in a row.
Fun. Those are the aspects of my childhood that I miss. That I miss is waking up to an amazing mom who's doing all these awesome things for us.
As long as she had her coffee.
That's right. As long as she had her coffee, she was a nightmare without.
They've definitely heard a lot about the coffee in the morning thing, so I had to throw it out there because I was like, let's remind them.
The nightmare before coffee.
Yeah.
The nightmare before coffee. I like that.
I do too.
She could have had her own miniseries.
I think their birthdays were so important to me because I was so busy, frazzled, lack of all the other stuff. But their day was, and the 2 younger ones almost always shared birthdays, but I did, that was my day to, absolutely, it's about them. How about you? Is there anything you do you have a worst and best?
No.
You'd like to talk about? No.
What?
Honestly, in my eyes,
It's okay if I'm the worst too, because,
No.
you're something else. But,
No.
I don't believe that you did anything wrong.
I like that.
Yeah, but I know there was some painful. I know there was a lot of pain, but
Maybe,
I
but
like that you say that.
what you're doing now it's making up for it. Like,
Yeah.
I know there's stuff I don't really remember, but
Yeah.
what I remember is everything good.
Hmm.
I don't remember anything bad.
Huh.
Can Megan,
all.
did you ever? Because I kind of wanted to bring this up, but then I also didn't. But did you ever have a period in your life where you kind of resented mom?
No.
When they well, no. Let me. When they
Let me finish. Okay.
when mom and dad divorced, was there ever a little period of your life where you had resentment?
No.
Wow. So that was a me thing then.
Maybe, yes. I never. I mean, I know it really it affected me like it affected you, but it's different.
It's different.
It's just really different for me. Like
Boy, if
honestly,
we
when
could
I
all
was
think
little-
like this kid.
Right.
Thanks. Yeah, when I was little, I really had, my own world. I didn't really pay attention to like what's going on out there, because I was always shielded and didn't really see what was going on.
You were pretty shielded.
Yeah.
I think.
I think
Yeah.
I did that to myself. It wasn't from mom. It was just
Yeah.
protecting
It was
myself.
part of the chemistry that you were born with, because, know, at 6 months, I mean, first of all, she slept like 22 hours a day. It was some of the things that were going on with her. She just really had a tough time, but you've always kind of been in your own world. And I was doing a daycare back then, so that was my way of, making money and staying with my girls. But my youngest one was, we had a hard time engaging you. So you've always kind of...
I was always standoffish, I guess.
always been in your own little world. So I can see why, for that one, imagination is everything. I have no imagination. So, and we were talking one night, you had mentioned that you were always trying to draw me into your imagination, and that was hard for you, because I didn't know how. I was too busy. I wasn't interested. I think I was trying to pull you into the world, when, hindsight, I wished I'd have been able to get on that floor. Why didn't I, get on that floor and...
Sometimes.
Hey, yeah, but not as often as I would have liked, and not in a way that would have really worked for you. Yes, I could get on the floor, and I helped you open up your toys and, pet shops. I think I told you guys they're way all about pet shops. But I didn't get into the imagination of it. But I absolutely appreciated it and enjoyed the toys, but in a different way.
Well, you also gave him a big sister that is a total actor at heart.
Goodness,
so
yeah.
play
Pet Shop with
I played Pet Shop with him. I played Bratz with him, even though I didn't like either one. We played like Cops and Robbers, Cowboys and Indians. We did all of it. I'd get down, even if I wasn't in the mood. Yeah, down at the park, we'd make up games. And, yep.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah, but my biggest memories I really have is just of my sisters. They both were there.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely tried.
Yeah.
I know you tried. I'm actually writing autobiography of I wrote
If you
a chapter.
didn't hear that, this young one over here is writing
Can
an
you get the
autobiography.
Sanji, you suck.
And that is
Sorry.
something I've always done. This little one over here, well, she's not little anymore. She's grown up, but has always written. You've been writing since you were what?
10.
10. Yeah. Books or notebook.
I was getting 3 notebooks every week or something. It was nuts. But
yeah,
I'm writing an autobiography, and I have a chapter on my sisters. And I explained how they were in my life and how they are now.
Aw.
I want them to read it because I wrote some good things about Siffany and my other sister. It's really just...
I
That's
think
so cool. I can't wait to read.
I think we all of us sisters, I think we all kind of learned to kind of come together and lean on each other and be each other's when mom wasn't able to, when mom was working too much, or
I think so too.
I think we somehow learned really how to do that. And of course, yeah, I think Siffany over here really carried a lot of that weight.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when she would tuck us in. She would help us go to bed. She would help us wake up in the morning.
I also almost set the microwave on fire when she told me to heat up the hamster food. I don't know if you remember that.
That's a thing. That's a memory.
I all the way set the microwave on fire trying to heat up the hamster. She was like, just microwave it. So I did, but I didn't realize I was supposed to microwave it with a little water. And I just chucked some vegetables in the microwave and then they were on fire.
Oh no.
Wow. Okay.
I mean,
But I'm glad that you have the good ones.
Bringer of chaos.
Exactly.
I mean, she wasn't the best mother, but she really tried.
well, yes. So you know, one of the worst things you can do is parentify your child, and that's what I did with Siffany. I relied on her. It was what it was. She's 7 years older to the next oldest, and then 10 years older than the youngest. So I did. I relied on her more than I should have, but
But in a way that really helped me and Megan.
Mm-hmm.
It helped us a lot.
Yeah. Well, and I used to hear from Grandma. Grandma really resented having to take care of her younger brother, and that was the last thing I wanted. In my family of origin, Grandma and her brothers were not on talking terms, or she was, but they weren't, or whatever. And it was really important for her to, for me and my brothers, to get along and be okay, especially after she was gone, and that didn't happen. And I just intuitively knew I didn't want that for my girls. Somehow I wanted to break that cycle, so that you would have each other. So I did my best to pay Siffany, to give back to her somehow.
I had a pair of trip pants for every day of the week, and for those of you who are little goth kids like me, those things are like 100 plus. Not cheap.
Yeah.
So she did take, granted I had to save, but she took care of me.
Yeah.
It wasn't just, hey, you're on sister duty, bye.
Yeah, so I
she made it worth my time.
Yeah, I understood it was happening, and I understood that, not the best case scenario.
I guess a better way to word it, you made me feel valued instead of used. Like, even if she couldn't afford to pay me, when we had Blockbuster and stuff, like, she would go, she'd take us and she'd get a movie for these two, and then because I'm older, she would do like special movie nights, and maybe we would watch a Stephen King movie I haven't seen yet with a big box of Whoppers. And that was like what we did, but it worked. It was enough for me to feel valued. And I probably would have been 100% okay with it if I wasn't grounded as much as I was. Honestly, that was my biggest problem. Like, I'm always watching my sisters, but I never get to see people. But that's not even relevant to like that exact situation. So like, yeah. But the biggest thing, if you do have to ask your children to help, that is one of the best things she did for me, was she made me feel valued instead of used. And I think that made it to where it was easier for me to be like, okay, I'm on sister duty, even if it was a bad day or something, instead of being like, you know what, screw this. Like, because we all have bad days, right? Like, everybody blows up at some point in their childhood when they're growing up. So, like, we all have moments where we just, like, I'm done.
Oh, yeah, there were times where there was, like, a screaming match between all three of us.
Yeah.
Man.
So, like, on those days.
Yeah, like, it was definitely about screaming and fighting and yelling.
Knowing that.
Crying.
Knowing I got
like
paid
that.
made that more tolerable. Like, yeah.
There were
But
days like that.
if you make your child feel valued, at least they're not gonna hold it over your head later. And because she did stuff like an allowance, it made it to where there was times that I would walk with these two and we'd go down to Sonic down the way, and we'd go get big old blasts or something, or we'd all get a small one, or we'd go to Sevy and get Slurpees, and we'd go back home or play at the park, and I'd maybe go get us a sub or something, or so it made it to where I could also give back to them at the same time. And like, I've never regretted that at all. Like, I've never done it and gone home and been like, well, I could have had this. That never even occurred to me.
Yeah.
And I think part of it is that I felt valued, and it made me feel like I could give more. Not that I didn't want to give at all, but like, it made me feel like I could give more, which was kind of cool. Because you gave me more,
cool.
which made it to where I could.
Yeah. Neat.
Well, what about you? Me and Megan did our pros and
Yup.
cons. See what-
Which one you want first, Ma?
Um,
Let you pick. It's like the good news, bad news thing. Which one do you want to hear?
oh, give me the bad news.
I think for me, the hardest part about growing up was probably... There was times where, and I hope you guys don't hate me for this, I got grounded for stuff I did not do.
Yes. Oh, true. She's told me this. She's ratted.
I did get vindictive once in a while because I got mad at it and I was done. I got vindictive. I'm not gonna lie, that was wrong. But I think the constantly being grounded for stuff I didn't do, that's why I brought up the being grounded thing was the hardest part, because I'm watching these two and I'm knowing that one of them got me grounded. I really think that was probably the hardest part, was it's like, why can't you just trust me? It wasn't me this time. Not to say that I didn't push stuff up on them too. I think we all occasionally pinned each other. Like, I'm guilty as well. But always being grounded and then having to take care of the person that got you grounded and you don't even know for sure which one did it, that kind of sucks. That kind of sucks, because who do you be mad at?
I think we really, really tried. I mean, there's some points where it's like, let's just screw Holly for a minute and then
get the line off of ourselves.
I think
You believe me now, right?
we were not always these nice little sisters that who behaved. No,
we were little gremlins.
Ultimately, yes.
Wow.
Now, when I say I got vindictive, I mean, there was one day for payback, one of them came home, asked if Bloody Mary was real, and I was like, no, let me show you, and did the thing, and definitely played dead. I had some fake blood from Halloween stashed, and my cousin was in on it. I got grounded for a month for that one. That one I did deserve. So, not to say I wasn't vindictive, but...
I remember that. All right, give me the good stuff, because we got to pause for a little bit.
Okay. So the good stuff...
We need to get going.
Like I said before, making me feel valued when I did help take care of them, like, that was... I truly believe that is why we're able to have the relationship that we do, because if I felt undervalued and was constantly just attacking them and dissing on them and dogging on them and just being a butthole to them because, well, I'm mad because I gotta watch you, what kind of, like, how would that have affected all of us?
Right.
Not even just their childhood, but, like, as adults, like, I wouldn't be able to have my sissy stay the night. I wouldn't be able to go to the butterfly pavilion for birthdays. Like, I'd be too mad.
That was special.
And I mean, to be able to have those experiences makes it worth every single second. Like, the fact that you valued me completely changed the outcome of our sisterhood relationship. And I truly do believe that.
Wow.
And yeah, there were nights where I would rather be hanging out with friends, but at the end of the day, I knew my mom was bettering herself for us, which was very important. And I understood that she, in my eyes, she was telling me, I feel safer having you watch my children.
Then a random
I trust
guy.
you with my children.
Yeah.
That's huge. And so that told me that you trust me, that you have confidence in me, that you believe in me, even if you never directly said it.
Yeah.
So you taught me actually a lot just by the way that you had me watch the girls. Like, and I cooked a lot of our dinners.
Yeah.
And now I am insane about my kitchen. Guys, I have so many cabinets and still do not have enough space, and I utilize every single thing in there. I love to cook. It is what I do. That passion, I don't think would have been there if I didn't see how happy it made you to come home to a home-cooked meal, and how happy it made them that I made their favorite dinner. And I think that's
Not
where
for
my
me,
passion
too.
sparked. Was seeing how happy it made you guys, because what does a chef want? They want people to like their food. They want to make them happy, and it started there.
Wow.
So you
Cool.
kind of, in a way, watching you guys shaped who I am today. Like, it really did.
That's a really important point, and maybe we'll get back to that.
And you guys
in our
gave me the
second.
patience for my own child.
I see that, actually.
Yeah.
I
Cool.
see that.
Okay, our time's getting short because two of the girls need to get going. Sorry about the beeping, but that was my little timer. I meant to turn it off before that. I'm so sorry. Thanks for watching.
We hope this helps you guys
Yeah.
too. Like, if you guys are going with your family, feel free to sit down and watch this together and be like, hey, let's see what the future might hold, you know, or what can we learn,
How did
or
they do that, and
yeah. And I
Yeah.
mean, I'm sure that at a later point we'll probably end up getting a little more in depth. You know, we don't have these two
I
every
hope
time,
so.
as you've seen, but I hope we get to have them back.
and that we get to do this again. Leave us a comment, share anybody in your life that you think might benefit, and let us know some of the things that you do. Like, you know, I didn't know I
Gifted me that.
gifted you, that you're valuable. That's pretty neat. Yeah. I didn't even know what I was doing. You know, I just knew I needed to do it different than what had happened in my family.
Which goes back to kind of trusting and understanding. Now that she understands that, I bet she feels way better.
Oh my gosh! I'm gonna go home with such a great feeling of
Like 20 pounds just gone.
Yeah, just gone, because I carry a lot of weight from that time period. You know.
I think you taught us all
Mhm.
to really just be appreciative of the time that we had with each other,
Yes.
the time that we spent with you. You
Yeah.
taught us how to be appreciative of the smaller, physical objects. I
The
forgot
little
the name
things in
for it,
life.
but you taught us how to appreciate those things. We're not selfish, spoiled
Nah.
brats
Yeah.
like some of
Yeah.
our generation is. So I think even with your absence, I mean, you taught us some things that are valuable to us now. So
And I think, in a way, you having me watch the girls kind of also helped us learn the it takes a village part, because you did a lot. You did a lot by
Really?
yourself. You did, and I'm proud of you for that. But I think that you learning to lean on me and having me learn how to help them lean on each other and us, and you know what I mean, like learning how to have us all lean on each other. That started that thought process, and from there, I mean, you guys have seen in the other videos the stuff we talked about. So it is her turn.
Yeah, that's cool, because I gave that thing to you guys to do. Tell me what was good, what was wrong.
Yeah, it's your turn.
But I didn't think it was my turn.
Yeah,
let's
she didn't
see.
think she was gonna have to go under the bus with us.
What's my question? Hardest part of being your mom?
Yep, hardest part of
Okay.
being your mom and the biggest highlight of being mom.
Hardest part of being your mom was I think what my middle daughter commented on, and that was, there was not enough time.
She said countless times growing up, I just don't have enough of me to go around.
Yeah, there wasn't enough of me to go around, and I love my time with each of them was so precious to me, but incredibly hard to get. So that was the hardest.
And she did a pretty good job of evening it out, though.
I mean, it sounds like I did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like most of my time
You
with
know.
you was after y'all two went to bed, but
Yeah,
that was
like
so
my
you
time
guys
too.
got it too.
Yeah. And then I always say Siffany got 7 years all by herself. Very precious.
Which she would remind me of when I got selfish.
But
You had 7
these
years,
two-
remember?
These two, it was a different story. But so that was the hardest part. The best part?
I think I know this one. Maybe.
Okay, shoot it in here, because let's see. Me and my grandson did that one day. I was like trying to think of something, and a little T, he went like that, and I looked at him and I'm like, what's wrong with him? And he's like, And I'm like, are you okay, T? And he's like, I shot it to you, Grandma. But I do believe there's truth to that. It's called telepathy, and I think we all have it, and I think it's a very natural ability, and we have to be quiet for it to receive it. But anyway.
And be on the same radio wave.
And be on the same radio wave, yeah. Okay, so best part? Healing together. Oh my God. These girls have taught me more than I ever could have got on my own. Somehow or another, they love me unconditionally. They're accepting. It's okay that I've had, strange, crazy years. And they love me anyway. And thank God. So, I thank God for them every day. So, and I love their relationship. Oh my God, to watch these girls come together, I've watched them fight. I've watched them want to kill each other. They've each come to me complaining, and
one of us played dead.
Yeah.
That one.
And just so to watch them get through that, figure it out, be okay on the other side, and not just okay. The love that happens in this room and that happens when these three are together blows my mind. They blow my mind all the time. Love them. Love them, love them, love them. So, okay, with that, shall we end?
I do believe so.
Okay. Thanks for watching.
Thank you for joining us, both of you.
Mm-hmm.
We definitely appreciate it. We hope this makes a difference for you, the viewers. Hopefully that gives you some hope. If you got some sibling rivalry, you heard it from me and you heard it from them. So, thank you for joining, and we hope to see you next time. Have a...
Oh, there's one of them. Thanks for watching Siffany's Walk with Grace. Hindsight